Hey, Vince from PDR Tool Time, checking in with you on a couple products that I've received recently, all the way from England, from TDN Tools, which is the leading tool manufacturer or distributor out there in England and in Europe. So what they had sent me is a few products that I've been really looking forward to getting. I've been planning on buying these for quite some time, and I finally got them in the mail. The good thing about TDN is when you order things from them, they come almost immediately. Their shipping is phenomenal. I don't know how they do it, doing it across the pond as quick as they do. But some of the tools that they sent me are all related to a beta tag. Now these are the heat induction tools that we use in the industry. I by no means am an expert with my hot boxes, as they're referred to, but I do use them on a daily basis. So whether it's heating up a dent or heating up a panel, the aluminum one I use quite often on aluminum dents, and it's phenomenal. And one of the things that they had sent me is, as we know, we have the wand, and this is for the steel aluminum or steel hot box. The aluminum hot box, the head for it is a lot larger. The first thing that I wanted to show you was the heat saber. Now the heat saber is an extension. So you're going to put it on the end of your cable, and it's a quick little extension. This one here is the 400. It's made for beta tag. And the cool part about this is you have your button here. It's made of carbon fiber, it's very lightweight, but you also have a swivel tip to it, and it swivels 360 degrees, okay? All the way around, all the way back, it doesn't matter. And you kind of lock it in. So it's very quick. You put your tip on there, lock it into place, and now, you know, there's times when you're working with these things and it's just obstructive and you can't see and you're not getting the right angle, well, you could just turn it however you want it to turn, and it will lock into place. And then you turn it the other way and it'll lock into place that way as well. So this, once you plug this in, this button is now rendered useless. You are now using the button on here. Not only that, but it also swivels this direction, okay? So you have pretty much 360 degrees on both of them, however you want to do it, okay? And you have the nice small little button right there that you're going to press, and that's what's doing the magic, right? So it's called the Heat Saber. It's made by Woodpecker. They're based out of England. They're sold at TDN. The gentleman that designs these tools is actually Colin Wood, which in my opinion is probably one of the industry leaders when it comes to these heat induction machines. Some of the other things that he has designed, Colin Wood, is the actual cables. The cable that you get with your WIO is really short. It's short, and you end up having to take your hot box and put it on the panel you're working on or on the roof or whatever, and it's cumbersome and you don't want it to fall off of the panel. So what they have developed is exact OEM copies of those cables. These are thick and they have the same wand on the end. You have a 90 on one end, and then you have the straight right there, and they come in 3 different sizes. So one of the things that they also sell along with that is, say you want to have your hot boxes on a cart away from you, and you're running that cable throughout the shop to get to the panel that you're working on or the car you're working on. They make different lengths. This guy here, this is 9 meters, which is 27 feet. So that's 27 feet of cord that you could stretch pretty much. My shop is about 35 feet. So this is plenty. I haven't even used this just yet because they have other cords as well. This is a longer one. This is 6 meters, I believe, and we have the 3 meter cord, so which is 9 feet. They also sell this extension. If you have other cables and you need to make it longer, you're able to plug this into your cord, and you have a male and female end. You're gonna lock it in there. Then you're going to come back on the other end with your longer cord and line it up properly and lock it in. So this little doohickey here will release and lock into place. It has a locking mechanism right there that you actually lock it so you don't have to worry about it coming out and done while you're working on the vehicle. So next up is this is the adapter for your cart. If you have a TDN cart, you could actually screw this into your cart and that wire will go down to your hot box, right? So you adapt this to the hot box, which is sitting at the bottom of your TDN cart or any type of cart that you might have. It doesn't have to be TDN. And you plug it right in. And then you mount that to the top of your cart with a couple screws. And now you're able to take your cable and run your cable, however long your cable is, to the top and off to the panel, and keeping your cart nice and close as well. So this is a great little adaptation, very clever idea. One thing that I did notice with everything is heat shrunk and held into place properly. I mean, this is basically the same wire that the OEM uses for the T-hot box. There's been other technicians out there that has duplicated it. You know, it's supposed to be speaker wire. That's what we've come to know. But here's a cord that I've got from another PDR technician that used to make them. And the gauge is different. So it's definitely a different gauge. Now what's marked on here is 14 gauge. And what's marked on here is 3 gauge. So even though it's not as pliable as the smaller gauge, you have more current that's going to go through a larger gauge wire than you will through a smaller gauge wire. So does this matter? It might and it might not. When you run these machines, it's all about current and getting the voltage or the current through the wires. And we all know that the longer the cord, the more resistance it's going to have, lowering your power at the output. So it just makes sense. It's like trying to suck a 747 through a straw. Is it going to go through a thinner gauge easier, or is it going to go through a bigger gauge easier? So it's just common sense. Also, the power that you lose as you go along the length of the cord itself, it's going to lose power. So it makes sense to have the most thickest cord that you could possibly have on there. That way it doesn't lose power as it's traveling through the cable. The build and craftsmanship on any of these Woodpecker products is bar none, you know, better than OEM, if not the same, better. And if you look up the Woodpecker, you'll see all different lengths of these as well. So it's just going to depend on personal preference how far away you want to get. Me personally, as we know, the farther away you are from the dent, the clearer vision you get, and you're able to see exactly what's going on. Check out tdntools.com, look up Woodpecker. It's called the Heat Saber. You have the extension, you have the interlocking slide ring that is both female on both sides, and that will get your length even longer if you need to.